What is good, Raider Nation? Is your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Raiders 2024 regular season has been nothing but disappointment for the most part. Compared to last season, I mean, the Raiders have seriously regressed as a football team from a win-loss column perspective. Last season we finished 8-9. This season it looks like we're destined to be a 2. Maximum I see us being a 3-win football team this season. But although the majority of the regular season has been dark and gloomy for us Raiders fans, the one bright spot for 2024 was the draft class and the overall impact of our young players and the future they could bring here to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, last year prior to the draft, we were all excited about the possibility of potentially drafting a high-end rookie quarterback like a Jaden Daniels, like Michael Penix Jr., but unfortunately, that situation just did not pan out for us. The Raiders were selecting at 13th overall, and that was just too big of a drop-off for us to trade up for one of these top prospects. And it was just a crazy draft overall. You're talking about the first 12 picks, half of those selections were quarterbacks, which is something we never really seen ever in the National Football League. But although the Raiders missed out on a rookie quarterback last year, we got the very next best thing, and that is a generational talent and first round rookie tight end Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Brock Bowers has surpassed my expectations of him coming in as a rookie, and I was super excited about his potential in this offense, so that's definitely saying a lot. And crazily enough, he has vastly exceeded the expectations of most NFL analysts. Not only is Brock Bowers producing top-tier tight end statistics, but he is out here putting wide receiver type of numbers, which is absolutely insane as a rookie. Brock Bowers has 87 receptions thus far, which is second in the whole National Football League. He has 933 yards, fifth in the National Football League. And so far he has 4 touchdown catches, but that has mainly been due to the struggling quarterback play all season long. And I think that by far the most impressive part about his rookie season is the fact that he is producing these type of numbers, top end wide receiver 1 statistics, without a top tier quarterback. Brock Bowers provides insane versatility. He can play and line up as a true tight end. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up out wide. You can get him in the backfield in motion. There's just so many different things you can do with him. He has that Joker type of role in this offense. The crazy thing about him is he is an absolute matchup nightmare for any opposing NFL defense, and we've seen him take on #1 DBs and actually win those one-on-one matchups against the Kansas City Chiefs. He got the best of cornerback Trent McDuffie. So at this point, I mean, it is out of the picture for an opposing defense to even try to match him up in coverage with linebackers. That says a lot about the talent level of a tight end, that you're getting matched up with cornerbacks and you're still winning those matchups. And I think he has shown that he can carry the bulk workload of an offense, and this is all without a quarterback and a consistent run game all season long. Just imagine if the Raiders can get these two things covered. If we can have a solid quarterback, if we can get a reliable running game, we can start to make those safeties creep up and respect the run, and then you hit them with that play action. But overall, this was just a fantastic pick from General Manager Tom Telesco. And realistically, if the Rookie of the Year award wasn't essentially a quarterback competition, I mean, Brock Bowers would seriously be in contention for this award. He is also very likely going to be an All-Pro in his first season in the league, and the future is bright for him and the Raiders offense in general. I think the takeaway with Brock Bowers is simple: get him a quarterback and throw him the football. Now, the next rookie we're going to talk about, with a second round pick, the Raiders addressed the offensive line position, and we selected center Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. Now, early on, Jackson Powers Johnson missed some time in training camp, and we did not see him on the field a whole lot to start the regular season. He eventually came in as a guard and immediately showed off his biggest asset, and that is his nastiness and physicality inside the trenches. But even with him getting moved to guard, the offensive line still struggled under Luke Getsy. And eventually we just made the move to start Jackson Powers Johnson at his natural position at center, replacing veteran Andre James. Now, Andre James has been a decent center for the Raiders the past few years, but one of his biggest downfalls is the fact that he simply gets overpowered way too much, and that a lot of times would derail the offensive line play, just due to the fact that you cannot have an opposing defensive lineman create that much push in the interior of the offensive line. But overall, Jackson Powers Johnson has continued to be aggressive and physical inside the trenches, so the Raiders definitely got to upgrade in that aspect. And even in a couple different occasions, NFL referees have warned Antonio Pierce about JPJ being quote-unquote too physical, which is kind of crazy considering the fact that this is the National Football League. He plays inside the trenches. You have to be nasty, you have to be aggressive. But overall, this is a good sign for the Raiders. I think it's a lot easier and a better situation to try to teach a guy to tone it down a little bit compared to the opposite and trying to motivate a guy to amp it up. But Jackson Powers Johnson is a very strong, physical, and a nasty offensive lineman, and you always need players like that in your offensive line units. He reminds me of Richie Incognito in this sense, but so far, his biggest downfall has been his penalties. Jackson Powers Johnson, in my opinion, has all the tools to be a great center for us, but he has had his bumps and bruises as a rookie. I mean, so far, it feels like he's averaging like 2 penalties a game, and the biggest downfall for him is he has to clean up those penalties because some of them are due to him being a little bit too physical. So he is going to have to adjust that moving forward. And he's going to have to clean that up because penalties for an NFL offense are just absolute drive killers. But so far in his young career, I think Jackson Powers Johnson has shown star potential as a center, and I think worst case scenario, he's going to be a solid starter for the Raiders at the center position for years to come. So in the second round, Tom Telesco once again was able to get us a starter. And the last guy on the list, third rounder, DJ Glaze. And the good thing is you see a trend with these picks, and it's the fact that Tom Telesco did a great job with his early round picks, and I think DJ Glaze falls into this category as well. I will say I was wrong about DJ Glaze come draft night. I was not super excited about the pick on draft night, and so far he's been a pleasant surprise to me. I did not expect him to be a starter this season. I thought he was going to take at least a year on the bench, but I was really impressed with his tape in the preseason. He shocked me a little bit, and he really wasted no time in the regular season. He seized his opportunity after right tackle Thayer Munford got hurt. After he got hurt too, it was just over for him, and DJ Glaze took that spot and he hasn't looked back. I think he's looking really good in his developmental process. Now, overall, he's not a perfect prospect, but he has definitely held his own as a starter. I love his movement as a tackle and his ability to get out in open space. He moves really well for the position. Also, that Week 6 performance against TJ Watt as well. He did very well being a rookie, going up against arguably the best defensive end in the whole league. His hands have improved as well compared to when he was at college. He would stab a lot, trying to get his hands on the opposing defensive lineman and lose his matchups. But here in the National Football League, he is learning how to use his hands more effectively. He is learning how to catch his opponents. And really, he's the type of player that has shown that once he can get his hands on you, he typically doesn't lose the rep. But the takeaway from DJ Glaze is pretty simple as well. In the third rounder, you were able to address a position of need on the offensive line. And once again, you got a future starter for years to come. So once again, a great pick from Tom Telesco. Now, the later round picks thus far haven't looked great, and quite frankly too, I mean, most of them haven't really seen the field very much, so it's really hard to gauge whether or not they've been a success thus far. But so far, I mean, fourth rounder cornerback DeCamerion Richardson, he's been getting a lot more reps lately as Jacorian Bennett went down and Nate Hobbs did as well. So we're a little bit thin at the defensive back position, but so far I will say he has been getting cooked a lot. He has been struggling, but I'm also going to cut him a little bit of slack. Me personally, I just feel like being a rookie cornerback, it may be one of the hardest positions to transition to in the NFL. DeCamerion Richardson is a guy who has great physical traits, but he's going to have to learn the nuances of playing the position. And, you know, it's way too early to count him out. You know, a perfect example of this is our cornerback, Jacorian Bennett. His rookie season last year, he was getting burnt left and right, and then you jump into his second year and he became a lockdown corner. So it is definitely not over for a guy like DeCamerion Richardson. Linebacker Tommy Eichenberg really hasn't seen the field that much either. Now, Dylan Labe hasn't seen the field a whole lot either, but When he did, he fumbled the football, so he's been underwhelming thus far. And also our safety, Trey Taylor, hasn't seen the field very much either. So it's really hard to give a grade for those later round picks. But let's just assume that they don't pan out. They're not starters for us. And just for the sake of argument, let's assume that we miss on these draft picks. Even in that scenario, I think Tom Telesco did a great job in this year's draft. Anytime you can get a generational prospect and multiple starters for your football team, that's a win. And if you can continue to do that, if you can stack years with that type of production, you will be in a great position as an organization moving forward. Now, overall, these later round guys, I mean, they still have potential though. And if we can get some production out of them, that is just absolutely great. But like I said, the main goal of the draft is to get at least 2 to 3 starters. And of course, anytime you can get a generational talent like a Brock Bowers, that is a win in my book. Anytime you can do that, you have done your job as a general manager. So I definitely got to give credit to Tom Telesco. The 2024 NFL draft is looking really bright. Everything seems to indicate that Telesco will continue to be the general manager next season, but we have to wait till the regular season ends for them to make that decision. But I will say, if Tom Telesco can continue to do this, continue to hit on these early round guys, and then just swing for upside and potential in the later rounds, I think the Raiders' future should be very bright. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But with that being said, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.